everyone, I'm Aliza and I'm up with my new video on a bioeducational topic, and the topic's name is human body. In this topic, we will be covering the skeletal system, the muscular system, and in that we'll also be covering about skin, nails and hairs. Then we'll be covering about the brain, which is the most important part in our body. In the brain, we'll also cover about how eyes and ears work by receiving signals by the brain. And then we'll go to the circulatory system. There we'll study about blood and heart. Then we'll be coming to immune system and getting ill. Then we'll be covering about the two excretion points in the human body, which is the digestive system and the excretory system. So let's begin. First of all, we'll cover the skeletal system. So, why is skeletal system important to us? That's the first question that comes in my mind. I don't know about yours. It may be. Most of the people think, why is it important to? So, think about climbers. How are they? They can't grow without support. If they don't get support, they can't stand upright. Yes? So just like that, even our body, it can't grow well. It is like it would be floppy without the skeletal system. Okay, so if we need to stand upright, like if I want to move my hands, I need my skeletal system. Okay, so that is it. Then skeletal system is not only important for that things, but it is also important in other ways, like our skeletal system protects our brain, and we all know how important our brain is and how delicate it is. It also protects our spinal cord, it protects our heart and all the organs which are so delicate that could be hurted if no skeletal system is there. Yes, so this is the importance of skeletal system. Now what is skeletal system made up of? Yes, skeletal system is made up of bones. Do you know an interesting fact? When a baby is born, he has 300 bones, but when he grows, he has only 206 bones. Not while he grows, I meant when he is an adult. So is it so that the bones vanishes? Hey, that sounds funny. Don't think like that. Our bones don't vanish. What happens to our bone is that as we grow, our bones fuse together, thus forming a longer bone, and then the number of bone decreases. That's the reason our bones decreases as we become an adult. And do you know an interesting fact? When a baby is born, he has bones, but his bone has a special term. It is called the cartilages. Why is it called cartilages? Cartilages means the bones which are very soft and flexible. Okay? Let's now talk about what is the human bone comprised of. Yeah, mostly what we hear is that human bone is made up of calcium, but of course it is not actually calcium. There are many things in it. So I'll just tell you a name of them, a few of them. So a human bone is mainly made up of collagen, COLLAGEN, collagen. Okay, then it is made up of calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate and minerals. Okay, so these are the main four things that a bone is made up of. Okay, now in a skeletal system there are joints. Why is there joints? Because if you want to facilitate movement, we can't move it from here. Yes, that does not moves, but here we can move it because there's a joint over here. But in joints also can't move if there is no ligaments in between. What is ligaments? So ligament is very small fibrous structures that are present in between our joints. Then it helps in movement, but it won't be able to do so unless there is muscular system. What is muscular system made up of? So muscular system is made up of muscles, and these muscles help in producing movement. Hey, what are muscles basically? Yes, first we should know that. So muscles are the part inside our body that we can make tight or relax in order to produce movement. Okay, so there are three types of muscles, which is the cardiac muscle, it is the skeletal muscle and the smooth muscles. The word cardiac means related to heart. So that means the cardiac muscles are found in our heart. Then there are skeletal muscles which are found in our other body parts, and there are smooth muscles which are found in our organs, like the small intestine is there, stomach is there, liver is there, etc. Then what are muscles made up of? So muscles are made up of muscle cells called fibers. Okay, now let's move on to our beauty parts. Without them we would look kind of scary, I can say. So yes, the beauty parts, which are the skin, nails and hair. Okay, so first we'll talk about the skin. So skin is important for a beauty, but that does not mean it does not do anything. There is some importance of it too. So the skin protects delicate part inside our body. Okay, don't be confused that skeletal system and skin are same. They are absolutely different. Skin protects from other things that can harm us, and skeletal system protects the inner organs that are inside it. Okay, then what is skin comprised of? So skin is comprised of 3 layers, which is the epidermis. Hey, in epidermis I want to tell you an interesting fact about epidermis. The word epi you may be hearing a lot of times, like epigel, epicotyle. So what does epi means? So epi means above. So whatever way you hear epi, it means the first one to come. Like that only, epidermis is the topmost layer. So it contains a tough material called the keratin. Okay, then the second layer is the dermis. So the dermis is one of the most important part in the skin, as it makes the skin a sense organs. How? It is because it contains nerve endings that receive and send signals to the brain, thereby making skin a sense organ. The third layer is fat. Okay, now let's talk about our nails. Our nails can grow extremely tall and dirty if we don't trim it, but most of us trim it every week or two. Yeah, now you may think, what is nail important for? Because nail is like, it is there, okay, not there also, okay, yes, but that is not the case. Nails are also helping us in many things, like it help us in picking, plucking and peeling things. Okay, these are the 3 things where nails help us. Now let's go on to hair. Do you know a very interesting fact about hair? Our human body has the same number of hair as a chimpanzee. Hey, then that's cool, I know. But why is it so that we don't look like a chimpanzee? We should also look all brown and look like a chimpanzee. Why isn't so? It is because the chimpanzee's hair are comparatively longer than a human hair. A human hair is very small in comparison to a chimpanzee. Thereby, it does not makes us very black and look like a chimpanzee. Now we have talked about a lot of our basic parts in our body, which are used in many things, but are not making us alive. Yes, because when we are dead, even we have it, but then too we are dead. Why is it so? Because our brain stops working. So that's the reason brain is the most important part in our body. How does brain works? The brain works by sending and receiving signals. Which part does the brain, which organ system does the brain belongs to? Yes, that's a very common question that we get. It is belonging to the nervous system, and in nervous system it belongs to the CNS. Hey, what is CNS? So it is the part in our nervous system. Our nervous system is broadly divided into 2, which is the CNS and the PNS. The CNS stands for Central Nervous System, which consists of the brain and the spinal cord, whereas the PNS consists of the nerves. So there are 2 systems, CNS and PNS, and the brain belongs to the CNS. Now let's talk about how is a brain made. What are the things inside a brain, a human brain? So there are 4 more main important things in our brain, which is the neuron, glial cells, neuron stem cells, and blood vessels. Hey, I think I've introduced you to a lot of terms over here, so I don't want you to be messed up with any of them. So I'll explain about these in detail to you right now. What is neuron? First of all, there are three spellings of neuron. Actually, there are three names for neurons. First is neuron, which is N-E-U-R-O-N-E. Then there's second, which is N-E-U-R-O-N. The third one is called the nerve cell, which is N-E-R-V-E-C-E-L-L-S. Okay, nerve cells. Okay, so it creates electrical impulses and carries it to the whole body and sends and receives signals, as we know. It is the major building block of the nervous system, I can say. It is one of the most important thing in the nervous system also. Now let's talk about the glial cells. The glial cells are a supportive cell in the nervous system. Unlike neurons, they don't conduct electrical impulses. Then we'll talk about the neuron stem cells. What are neural stem cells? They are the cells that are self-renewing multipotent cells that firstly generate radial glial progenitor cells. Okay, this is a very big term. I'll tell you at the last when I tell all the hard words and the spellings, but for that time I want to tell you about these cells is that they are responsible for creating neuron cells. Okay, this is all what I want to tell you about these cells. If you want to learn more about these, you can comment me. I'll make a new video on it. Okay, our eyes also work by sending and receiving signals from the brain. How does it do so? Yes, so our eyes contain a liquid called the vitreous humor, and in the vitreous humor there are nerves ending which when we see things, our nerve endings send signals to the brain, and the brain send back signals to the eyes that what are we seeing, thereby helping us to see objects around us. In our ears also, the brain helps in listening things. When we hear anything, drums vibrate, and our eardrums are connected to tiny bones called ossicles, and thereby they also vibrate, and they pass to a tube called colitia, and colitia has tiny hairs that when vibration passes, the tiny hairs move, thereby sending signals to the brain. And see, who is the winner over here? Who works for everything? There's a long process, but at last brain is the winner. Brain is responsible for hearing things. Our brain also helps our heart to beat. Okay, our heart won't beat unless it gets signals from the brain. Heart, that is also a very interesting topic. So now I think we shall move to the circulatory system, and first of all what we are going to cover is the heart. So when we keep our hand on the chest, we can feel that that is the beating of the heart. But why does the heart beat? That is a question. Yes, so the heart beats to pump blood through the body. Okay, like when the heart beats, the blood is released from the heart and sent to different parts of the body by blood vessels there, and then each part of the body gets blood. Then this happens with 4 chambers. 4 chambers? Oh, that isn't a gate. I know mostly you would think that it is a gate to open. It is that not the gate, but it is divided into 4 parts, which is called the 4 chambers of the heart. And what are the 4 chambers of the heart? It is the right ventricle, right atrium, left ventricle, and left atrium. These 4 work by sending blood and receiving blood. If you want to know about these 4 chambers, do comment me. I'm going to make a new video on it, a perfectly new, and video won't be concise because it would be consisting only of one topic, which is the 4 chambers of the heart. Hey, I just talked about blood vessels here, yeah? So what are blood vessels? So blood vessel is a connection from the heart to the whole body. It takes blood from and back to the heart. Okay, So here it takes blood, but it won't be having only one type of blood vessels that take and receives blood back. Na, there should be at least two. So yes, there are two types of blood vessels we are broadly dividing into, which is the which is the artery and the vein. So the artery takes blood away from the heart and the vein takes blood back to the heart. Okay, so this is about how artery and vein works. But here what we talked about right now is blood. So what is blood? Blood is the fluid in our body that transport nutrients to different parts of our body. So what is blood made up of? So blood is made up of 50% water and nearly half 50% of red blood cells. But that isn't an approximate, that isn't a right approximate. It isn't right approximate, what am I saying? Just it's a right approximate, but we need to study it in a bit detail. Yes. So blood is made up of 54% of plasma, which is 90% of water. Okay, plasma is 90% water, and it is made up of 1% WBCs, which is the white blood cells, and 45% of RBCs, which is the red blood cells. Then you may think, why is it so that our blood is red? If it contains of water, it must be blue. Yes, it is 50% water. But first of all, red is a more attractive color, thereby 45% of the RBCs, which are red in color, makes the blood red. But what makes the RBCs red? Yes, so RBC is made red from a pigment called hemoglobin. It is present in the human body in the RBCs that makes the RBCs red. Okay. Then there is another thing that we just didn't cover up, which was platelets. So why are platelets important? If we just let me tell you, if we don't have platelets in our body and we get a minor cut just like this, okay, so blood will come and come and come and come and eventually lead to death. Okay, you may think, how is it that possible from a single scratch? How can it be? So it is because of platelets that you don't die because of it, because the platelets cover the wound where you've got hurt and thereby preventing blood loss. And if you lose a lot of blood, you have chances that you can die, because our human body has only 4 to 6 liters of blood. Now let's talk about our worst fear, which is getting ill. I do remember when we get ill and I get ill, and sometimes I get injections. That is the worst part which I think of the day. So yes, we get ill, but we always don't get ill, because germs are present everywhere, sometimes even in our food, and it is present in the air and there and everywhere. Yes, so why is it not that we always get ill? Every day we get ill and every day we get an injection. It is because our body can even fight diseases. Oh, is it so? Yes, we all know is it so. But why do we get ill sometimes? Because see, take an example of coronavirus, which is happening. That's a new type of virus. We haven't got a vaccine of it. Thereby our WBCs, which is responsible for making fighters for which are responsible for making immune corps, which the WBCs produce fighter corps, which are called antibodies. Okay, so they don't know which antibodies should they produce right now for fighting these diseases. That's the reason we get ill from coronavirus. Okay, that's our body can't fight with it. That's the problem that's the problem why everyone is getting ill because of coronavirus, and no one can get the vaccine of it. So our WBCs is responsible for making antibodies to fight diseases. And I just mentioned about vaccine. Yes, what is vaccine? So vaccine is a harmless amount of a particular disease which is injected to our blood, and the WBCs then understand how to fight to it and produces an antibody to fight towards it. And then the next time you get that particular disease, the WBCs know which antibody do they need to make. That is what a vaccine is. Now we are all done with our immune system and getting ill. So we are going to now cover up the two excretion points in our body. So the first thing we are going to cover up is the digestive system. Then later on we'll cover up the excretory system. So what is digestive system? The digestive system is the system that is responsible for taking out excess waste, for taking out waste from our bodies, for getting food into and out to our body. And how does it do so? Where from our mouth, when we eat a food, it goes to a pipe called the esophagus. OESOPHAGUS, esophagus. And from that it goes to the stomach, which has the juices that breaks down the food and takes all the nutrients and give to the give to other parts of the body. Then it is passed to the small intestine, which takes out all the water from it, and then it goes into the large intestine, where it's pushed by muscles and all the water is taken out, and that left part, the waste, is excreted out from the body in form of stool. Okay, now as I told, this is all about the digestive system. Now we'll go to the second part, which is the excretory system. So excretory system is responsible for taking out what can I say, it is it takes out excess water and salt from our body. When we drink water, the excess water and salts which is left in our body is taken out from in the form of waste as in urine. Okay, excess water and salt is now what are the steps? Yes, so I'm just telling that excess water and salt is kept in the kidneys, which is then passed to a tube, and then it is passed to urethra, and from urethra it passes to a very small tube and then comes out in the form of urine. I am not explaining a lot about urinary system here, but if you excretory system here, but if you want to know more about it, just comment me and I'll make a new video. Hey guys, this is all for today, but the adventure is not stopped. I'm making a new part on this topic, not on this topic, actually the human body, in which I'll be covering the reproductive system and growing up. So if you want to see that video, so stay tuned with my channel. And how will you do that? It is by you will subscribe me, like me, and if this video just reached to your expectations, do share it. And as I told you, this is a concise video. If you want to know something more about a particular topic, just comment. Stay home, stay safe. Bye bye.